comment, share, and like for more videos to my channel. Hit the bell if you mess with hell. Man, I don't know how niggas be getting into it with Vlad. Vlad is a cool dude. He be putting people on his platform. It's like people just be wanting a reason to get into it with Vlad TV. It just don't make no sense. Yep. Now, I know people know this nigga here, Omar Jr. or Gooding, for his role in Baby Boy. But we know his brother Cuban Gooding Jr. for all these big roles. And we also know him for partying in the club, getting fucked up, acting the ass. But that doesn't take away from the fact that they're great actors in their family.
Actor Omar Gooding Jr. just did an interview where he broke down why he hates DJ Vlad, and he accused DJ Vlad of some pretty disturbing things.
But I think my problem with Vlad was that me not knowing him, and this is what's crazy about it. They said, theys were my people said, Vlad wants to do an interview on Vlad TV. And I'm like, what does that mean? I don't even know. This was the first podcast interview that I did that kind of launched, I didn't get paid for that. They just said, you should do it. He's really big and you should do it. And I was like, no. And then someone else told me, yo, I heard you turned down the Vlad thing. Like, what's wrong with you? Vlad is crazy. He's good. He's this and that. I was like, really? All right. And I sat down with them and we had a open conversation. He didn't ask me nothing inappropriate. I spoke from the heart. That was that. People saw that, and then my value as a interviewee went up. And then they started offering me money and then saying how much to be on. I was like, oh, you get paid for that? I thought this was free. Like, no, you know what I'm saying? Come on. So, real life street stars, I sat out with them and that was crazy, but it was great though. And then, obviously, on. And then it led to, I think, the best platform other than yours was Art of Dialogue, because I think their algorithm is the best for some reason, because everybody's been calling me nonstop since I did this thing last weekend. But anyway, so my issue with Vlad was after we finished that first interview, he had an idea.
The first interview went great. They did great numbers. So Vlad TV invited him back for a second interview under conditions, though. Now, the conditions is crazy. Now, without context, the condition make Vlad look like an absolute weirdo. But once you put it into context, I think the context changes everything, and it makes Vlad look a little bit more reasonable than Omar Gooding is trying to paint him. However, with context or without context, Omar was still pissed. Once Vlad asked him for this request, it was all gloves off. He hated Vlad. He never wanted to work with Vlad again, and he did interviews bashing Vlad.
Now, here's the thing. This is kind of how beefs start and misunderstandings. He didn't find anything wrong with what he was asking of me because he asked someone else and they agreed. What he asked me to do was to come back on for a part 2, but he wanted me to be in character as Sweet Pea from Baby Boy for the whole interview. I laughed because I thought, first of all, that's hilarious, because why would I do that? It would belittle the role, it would belittle John, it would belittle the work, it would make me look clownish and buffoonish, and I don't do that. If you follow my career, why would I do that? This is good. Well, that's stupid of you to ask. But I took it as a joke and ignored it. And then he came back again and asked again, and then got at my people and I said, yo, he's trying to get you back on. You know this? And I said, yeah, he wants me to be in character, but no one's doing that. And he said, yeah, this other guy did. And he showed me the other guy doing it, and I was like, oh, good for him. I'm not a peer pressure guy. I'm not a they're doing it, let's do it guy. I never have been. So I'm like, okay, again, respectfully, no.
I wanted him to dress up like this. Now, this is not an egregious, overly the top clownish character, but he played this role at 19 years old on Baby Boy. He was 40 plus at the time. He don't want to dress up as himself as a 19-year-old. Omar would deny that race had anything to do with it, but I do think race is a factor here. This white guy you just met is asking you to dress up in character and come and sit down for an interview. He felt insulted. Now, out of context, this looks terrible on Vlad's behalf, because why is Vlad playing with this grown man like this? But when you put it into context, I think Omar, even though he has his right to be upset or feel played, but once you add the missing details that Omar omitted and you put this into context, it doesn't look as bad as I think Omar is trying to portray it.
Interesting is I had Omar Gooding on my show a long time ago, right? Some years back, maybe 3-4 years ago. And Halloween was coming up. So I kind of was brainstorming about some of the various guests I had on my show to kind of do like a little Halloween thing where they bring back some of their iconic characters. So I reached out to Faison Love. I said, what do you think about doing an interview as Big Worm? And he was like, oh, that's a good idea. So, he got the hair rollers and whatever. And we kind of did this whole interview with him, in character.
Mm-hmm.
So I hit up Omar to do his character from Baby Boy. And I didn't hear back from him, which is fine. So he does an interview sometime later and was like, yeah, Vlad hit me up to do this interview as me from the character Baby Boy. And I just blocked him. I'm like, you blocked me? I'm like, you that sensitive over me asking you to act when you're an actor? I don't get it.
Hit him up again. See what happens.
I don't know. Did you see the whole thing with Cameron?
Some of y'all might see this differently. I don't know. But if somebody asks you to dress up on Halloween, even if you want to say no because you don't want to dress up because you want to be taken seriously, understandable. But I don't think you could see that as, hey, they playing with me. Hey, bro, they're trying to play with my manhood and my character. Hey, man, this white man asking me to dress up like I'm a clown. I think because it was for Halloween, it was a Halloween episode, and he wanted you to dress up like baby. I don't see that as Vlad just outright trying to play with this man. I don't see that as Vlad, trying to make a mockery out of him, trying to make a fool out of him. I don't think Vlad was trying to exploit him. I think it was a Halloween interview. Vlad thought this would have been a good idea to dress up. People dress up during Halloween. This is your most famous character. I want you to play the most famous character during the interview. Let's do something viral. I feel like that was the perspective. Omar, I think because he grew up how he grew up, he's from where he's from, his brother, his father, real conscious men, militant Black brothers, he just seen that away. And he would also say that when Vlad was even breaking this down to Aries Spears, he felt like Vlad was trying to get Aries Spears to talk bad about him. And this was also a reason why he personally don't like Vlad and can't really see an avenue of him coming back on Vlad.
This right here is an example of niggas that make anything make a conflict from nothing. Now, Vlad tried to pay the nigga. It was a Halloween edition. A Halloween edition, I said. Vlad tried to pay the nigga to dress up as his character on Baby Boy. He act as if Vlad said, come here, nigger, come tap dance for me. Vlad didn't say that. He was paying people with famous characters during Halloween time to be the famous character that they got paid for being.
With you?
No, with Cameron and Omar.
No.
I guess they had some sort of beef back in the day, so Cameron booked him to do an acting job that didn't actually exist. And I guess filmed the whole thing.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Shout out to Omar Gooding, man. I ain't got nothing against you. I don't know why you felt it was necessary to go and diss me on a podcast when, I had you on my show and was very polite and gave you a platform and reached out to you to be an actor and do something that your fellow actor actually did and actually had a great response for. But you're welcome to come on the show and you could confront me with your feelings and so forth. But I actually have no idea why you went left.
He did do an interview saying F DJ Vlad before this interview you just heard from Vlad. So even if Vlad is bringing up things with him and Cameron, that's because he said F DJ Vlad first. I don't necessarily see where the F DJ Vlad came from my perspective. Now, listen, man, a lot of you might say, hey, Flacco, you're too charitable, right? You're too good faith. That man was playing with Omar. I don't know. Halloween, people dress up on Halloween. Now, it'll be different if he was asking Omar, hey, bro, can you dress up in a tutu and show up with a princess tiara and I'll pay you $600? Now, that's a little different, right? Now, Omar would also express that he has a problem with going back on Vlad TV because he feels like Vlad TV doesn't pay well, or, he wanted a raise and Vlad TV wouldn't give him a raise. Now, again, I look at the Omar and interviews, like he does decent numbers. Like, I wouldn't say, like, he doesn't do more numbers than Aries Spears. He doesn't do more numbers than, let's say, Whack 100. He don't do more numbers than, I don't know, all the recurring guests on Vlad. So I don't know how much money he was asking for specifically.
But it kept coming up to the point where it started to piss me off now. Now I'm like, someone asked me again, what about Vlad? I was like, that idiot. Because that was a dumb thing to think I would do just because someone else did it. And now you're putting me in the box of this other guy, which is the main reason why I wouldn't do that. Because I'm not like everybody else. And that's that. And I must have said that on someone's platform, I guess, because to me, this is the first time we've talked about this. I've been interviewed saying this, but I guess someone said something about Vlad, and I said, all right, this is what, because when he brought it up with Aries, he was really intent. Oh, I said, hey, what do you think about that? Da, 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 da. And I was like, did he really? Nah, I don't remember saying that out loud, but now that you put it out there, motherfucker, then so be it. But I thought it was extremely petty of him trying to, incite beef and bring up and trying to rile up Aries Spears to be mad at Omar Gooding over something that I did to Vlad, whoever the is, and that's, they I don't use the words much, the culture vultures and all that type of, because, everyone's got their hustle. If it works, it works, for him, not to try to defend the motherfucker, because again, I just thought dumb. We had our whatever. And then he took it to another level. So now I do kind of have a little edge against him. But, if he's like, well, this guy did it, why won't this guy do it? Look, he's not going to do it. Leave it at that. Don't keep trying to start about it. You know what I mean? So I would advise him to just let that go.
Let me ask you this though, right? Because I think that the interview you did with him was the best interview that you've had as far as covering your life, like your overall story, right? I think he did a great job at that. And Vlad is the godfather of the YouTube interview and the hip hop space and everything. So I really respect what he did with you as far as that goes.
Yeah.
I'm asking, how much do you think that the race factor goes into how you perceived that ask from him? Like if Vlad was black and he asked you, yo, what about you be Sweet Pea in character and do the interview? Do you think that you would have taken it differently?
You know what I like about that question?
His answer to this question was A, predictable, but also B, really disappointed, because it really highlights how unfair to each other we are. This man really said that if a black person would have asked him that, he would have went harder on that black person. But because Vlad asked him and Vlad is white, he felt like he had to be respectful in his declining of it, which I'm like, damn, yo. Why do we treat each other like, why do we do each other like this, bruh? Why don't we have the basic level of decency and respect and charm for each other? But when it comes to the white man, we are like as charming, as respectful, and as humble as can be. Now, the fact that he admitted it, I mean, I applaud him for admitting it, but this is just bad, bro. I don't know, bro. Like, I just felt like, damn, this is like terrible, bro. It's terrible. Now, they also continue to ask him, like, do he see a future where him and Vlad squashes it? He says he doesn't think it's likely, but if Vlad comes with the bag, he'll be willing to consider it. I don't think Vlad is coming with the bag ever, so I guess their beef ain't never gonna end.
From you it's a good question, and it's your and I know exactly what you're getting at, and I like how you asked it. And to be completely honest, the race factor plays into it, because I would have said, if it was a black guy, no. But because it's Vlad, I went, are you crazy? You understand me? And I would have made the brother feel bad about asking it, because I would have been like, what the really? That's it? I want to be known for one role, and I'm going to just be clown, and everyone knows you from Sweet Pea. Now let's do a whole interview with Sweet Pea. Wouldn't that be funny? Aha, let's dance. No, what about, who told you to ask? I would have went at him so tough, he would have felt bad, and I wouldn't have felt bad about making him feel bad. But because Vlad is Vlad, I went, let's just ignore this and hope it goes away.
Is there any way that you guys can squash it, you and Vlad, and you would go back on his platform?
I am an absolute grown-ass man, and Probably not, but yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure that there's let me put it this way. For one, this gonna sound petty as fuck. For one, my price has now gone up, and I know he doesn't pay people, so it would never happen.
Let me know what y'all think. Now, I can't rule out for certainty that he would never be on Vlad TV again. Like Lord Jamar said the same thing. He was back. But I just don't think. Now, again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm off cold. Y'all let me know in the comment section. Hold me accountable if I'm wrong. But I just don't think that Vlad asking him to dress up for Halloween, I don't see that as a microaggression. I don't see that as Vlad trying to sun him or embarrass him. I think that's like a fair request, especially for Halloween.
Now, if you thinking like me, if you thinking like Hellcat, you thinking niggas make anything out of anything. Nigga tried to pay you to act on Halloween. Yeah, y'all are crazy. Y'all are crazy, man. Golly. I would have dressed up as him on Halloween if you were gonna pay me, Vlad. I would have been that nigga. Golly. Comment, share, and like for more videos to my channel. Hit the bell if you mess with hell.